What is going on, everybody? It is Darren here, and today we are back better than we were the last time, because in today's video we are going to be reviewing the Logitech MX keys. So if you are in the market for a new keyboard, then look no further than this video, because I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it for you. I love this keyboard, but I'm gonna tell you why I love it in the video. So if that sounds interesting to you, and if you are new, make sure you subscribe, and if you like the video, make sure you like the video. And I'm not gonna talk about anything else. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So the first thing I would like to talk about with this $100 wireless keyboard is just the overall design of it. So I don't know if you can tell, but like I said, I have it here. And basically it's a little thicker, it's a little heavier than something like this keyboard right here, which is the Magic Keyboard by Apple, and I just have this for comparison. I will be doing a review on this, so stay tuned for that. But I will say I do like it because of the build quality. It's definitely heavier. Also, it has this big body up here. I'm assuming that's for the Bluetooth. Also, that's where you also have the charging port, and then you also have the on-off switch up here. So your keyboard is always going to be slanted because of this part up here, but I actually like that as opposed to the Magic Keyboard where you do not have that at all. So it's built kind of slanted, but I kind of like this design better just because of the fact that I actually do feel the slant. The Magic Keyboard does feel a little flat. I think they did a really good job designing this keyboard. Like I said, I honestly am not 100% sure why this part up here is so heavy. I'm assuming that's because of the Bluetooth technology. A lot of the hardware for the keyboard itself to run everything, I'm pretty sure is in this part up here. But you know, like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. All right, and speaking of build quality, why even talk about the build quality of a keyboard if we are not going to be talking about the build quality of the keys themselves? So I really love the keys on this keyboard just because of the fact that they do have these spherical indentions in them. So basically it's just for your fingertips. So I feel like it really makes the smooth to the touch. I do feel like it's easier to type. I've actually really enjoyed it. I have not seen that before. I know there's probably 1,000 keyboards out there with it, but the only keyboards I have is the Magic Keyboard, I have a Razer keyboard, and this keyboard. So this is the first time I've ever seen this. Will say that it makes your typing experience very smooth, very thorough. I actually really enjoy the spherical keys. I think that was a good idea, especially I feel like it helps you type a lot faster for some reason. I don't know the science behind it, but just for how it feels, definitely see an improvement compared to when I'm using other keyboards. Another thing about this keyboard and the keys in general, it is a full keyboard with a number pad. I don't know if you can see that, but right here is the number pad. I, for one, am someone that loves using the number pad. I know there are other keyboards, great keyboards at that do not have the number pad. So we can talk about that in future videos when I review those keyboards. But this keyboard, I really like the number pad. It also has a bunch of other keys like a calculator, a screenshot, the automatic lock button, and no matter what device you're using, if you're on a Mac device or if you're on Windows, that lock button is gonna lock your computer. So I really do enjoy that, and of course it has the command for Mac users as well. That's mainly what I use it for. I use it for my work computer, my personal computer, and then another laptop. So like 2 different Macs and a Windows, and we'll get into those features later and how I'm able to use it with all 3 of those devices. But yeah, this is a very versatile keyboard. I like the structure of it. Like I said, I love the keys. They also have backlight on them, so if you are typing in the dark, you shouldn't do that, you know, it's bad for your eyes. But if you are typing in the dark, it definitely has the backlight, or if it's just you don't want to turn the light on, it's too early in the morning, been there, done that. So yeah, backlight's good. I actually think the light is really bright, but I will say it burns your battery a lot, but we'll talk about that later in the video when it comes to the battery life. Another thing I really enjoy about this keyboard and the keys specifically, before we move on, is that I really like that the keys aren't that loud, and I'll go ahead and like include some B-roll or something of me typing, and so you can hear for yourself how loud the switches are. So as you can tell, the switches aren't that loud. It's a good, decent sound flow. So if you are someone that loves like the clicking of a keyboard, which I fall victim to, it's good enough. It's good enough. It's not gonna be like your mechanical keyboard, but it's good enough to where it may satisfy you wanting to hear the keys, but at the same time, it's not gonna be too loud or too distracting or anything like that. All right, and now we are at the final part of the review for this keyboard, and that is the features themselves. So this keyboard has an abundance of features. I mentioned a few earlier, so we're gonna go ahead and go into detail with those right now. So the first feature I would like to go ahead and bring up is the proximity feature, and what I mean by that is, so when you do have your backlighting on, when you approach your keyboard and put your hands over it, it is gonna light up. And I find that to be an impressive feature, especially if you're someone that, like I said, like to type in the dark or anything like that, or just like to have the backlight on. I just feel like that's pretty good. And I feel like it conserves battery life just because the lights aren't always on. So therefore that it can save just a little bit, because I mean, it's not like it's gonna save a lot of battery life, but just a little bit of, you know, to make sure your charge is a little bit longer than usual. Speaking of battery life, that is what we're going to talk about next. So with the backlighting on, the keyboard can last about like 10 days roughly full charged. And then with the backlighting off, it's up to like 3 to 4 months. I feel like that's really impressive, and it's also an incentive to keep that battery life going by, you know, basically just keeping the backlight off unless you really need it. And that's when I turn it on. I turn it on like when I'm at work. I'll turn it up just because I don't feel like cutting the light on that early in the morning, so I can see my keys a little better until I get, you know, more adjusted and I actually wake up. So I feel like that's a great battery life. I have no complaints whatsoever. 10 days is even a lot compared to other keyboards, especially with, like I said, the backlighting being on, and I'm using this via Bluetooth, so there's that as well. Speaking of using this keyboard via Bluetooth, also this keyboard has 2 different ways it can connect to your device. So the first way is just strictly Bluetooth. So what you do is you go through the little setup process and you press these connection keys that I have not talked about yet, but is in the list of the abundance of keys that I did mention earlier. So there's keys for device 1, device 2, and device 3. So yeah, you can connect up to 3 different devices. So with the 2 receivers, you can go through the setup process through Bluetooth, or you can go ahead and use the USB dongle and plug it into your device or whatever device you may have and use it that way as well, and then just once again go through the setup process. I will say, if you connect this keyboard via Bluetooth, it is a little laggy, and I mean a little. Like, you really have to be paying attention. And like I've said this in my reviews before, there are some things that you don't notice until you're strictly trying to test it out, and that's why I noticed it. So if you're just using this, you won't notice it. And like I said, even like if you didn't watch this video and you didn't have this in the back of your head, you probably wouldn't have noticed. Well, so, but I will say there is a slight delay, but it's nothing too bad at all whatsoever. So of course, using the dongle is gonna be a little bit better, but like I said, you can't really even tell the difference. Now, one of the best features about this keyboard, along with the mouse, that you have the mouse, which I'll probably have a video talking about the mouse as well, and also maybe even a video about how I use them both together. But one key feature about this keyboard is that if I copy something on Mac, right? So for example, the way my work desk is set up, I have my personal computer and then I have my work computer. Basically what I do is, so since I'm going from Mac to Windows, what I'll do is I'll Command C on my Mac and then Control V onto my work computer, and then boom, whatever I copied on my Mac is now on my work computer. And now my cat is meowing for whatever reason. So yeah, that is a great feature to have. It definitely comes into play. I don't use it as much as like it's advertised, because that's obviously a huge feature, but I don't use it that much. Like I said, it's very rare, but it is a nice feature to have, especially when you're having something that can connect to 3 different devices and they do not all have to be the same operating system. I find that very impressive, and I think Logitech did a really good job with this keyboard. Yeah, so if you are someone that, like I said, you just have multiple devices, this is the keyboard for you. I definitely say it is worth it, just because of the typing experience you get, the features that it provides. I don't think you can go wrong here. That does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new, make sure you subscribe. If you like the video, make sure you like the video. And anything you need to say at all about this video whatsoever, just go ahead and leave that down in the comment section below. I respond to all comments, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Once again, thank you so much for watching the video, and peace. What are you doing? Come on.